universities using cadavers or cadaver recovery to allow scientists, in inverted commas, to become good at anatomy. So Galen was the person that actually followed. However, there were a couple of people who did actually start writing up what they were learning and using it as part of the learning process, very formal learning process. These people are people such as Hugh de Mondeville, who was actually a French surgeon at around the time of the 100 Years' War. Now, battlefield surgery has always been slightly different from common surgery. For the simple reason, you're not looking at maladies, you're looking at injuries. And the first aid that they were using at that time to get people off the battlefield probably wouldn't have actually differed radically from what's used nowadays. They would have been trying to staunch bleeding, they would have been trying to cause burns, they would have tried to set bones very rapidly if they needed to. However, the reality behind what they did later was completely different. Now, I don't know how many of you saw me inflict a wound on this ham hock earlier. That was from a hand-and-a-half sword. The tip of that sword was moving probably at around 100 miles an hour. I didn't hit it particularly hard. But you can see in this particular instance, it has actually gone all the way through the flesh, right the way down through the subcutaneous fat, into the muscle beyond, and actually intersected the bone itself. This, in reality, would have actually gone even deeper, because the one thing that was missing from this was blood. Blood is a great lubricant and actually allows a weapon to get even deeper, and plus also with blood pressure it allows a wound to open up even further, because this is actually a wound in something that's already dead. It's not quite as bad as it would have been under the actual circumstances. Now, in modern terminology, what we would do if this was happening, the very first thing we do is try and staunch the bleeding. The first thing we do with that is digital pressure, stick something on there. Not a bad idea, and that was actually one of the ideas that was carried through medieval surgery. If you could stop all of the blood coming out, good idea. However, they hadn't actually equated the heart with pumping blood. Blood was still seen as being a tidal force. So they wouldn't have actually been thinking along the lines of tourniquets and digital pressure on pressure points. They were thinking of digital pressure directly on. Immediately afterwards, they would of course try to actually clean anything out of the wound. And for that, they would have used instruments such as this. Wrapping yourself in the Plantagenet flag. I'd say very patriotic, but it's not really the country's flag, it's the royal family. This is a dual purpose instrument. It's actually a probe to actually allow you to probe in, looking for things such as arrowheads, looking for male links, looking for any contamination in the wound. At the same time, you have on the other end a hook, and this is actually very close to the way that modern soldiers are taught: look and hook. If anything is in fact in there, then you will be able to quickly just hook it, grab it and lift it out. Specifically things like male links. If somebody's hit very, very hard with a male link or with a weapon on male may get actually pushed into the wound. Arrows especially will carry things like the rivets and parts of a male link into the wound. Arrowheads themselves can be located by going straight in. If this wasn't a cut, it was actually a puncture, and we'd be looking for the arrowhead, I'd expect to use something like this called an arrow fleam. The idea behind this being that I can actually move into the wound, if the wound is actually wide enough and it's a broadhead arrow, effectively cup the arrowhead itself, and then using these bad boys, leap in and withdraw the arrowhead. Needless to say, this is actually quite a destructive process. You've got to open the wound up itself, and then you've got to get the forceps in. Henry V, before he became Henry V, at the Battle of Shrewsbury in 1403, was actually hit in the face, just below his left eye. Curiously enough, just where I was at a few weeks ago. It led to a completely new form of surgery, but it wasn't radically different from this one. It was a case of probing, locating, and then actually withdrawing the arrowhead. And it took place over a period of about 4 days. It also involved honey, because honey is a natural astringent and a natural antibiotic. And we're now starting to use honey again.